Look at your hand. Really look at it. You see skin. You see the faint blue lines of veins beneath the surface. You see the tiny ridges of your fingerprints, a pattern so unique that no other human being in the history of our species has ever shared it. It looks solid. It looks real. It looks like the most ordinary thing in the world. It is not. What you are looking at is mostly empty space. The atoms that make up your hand are so incomprehensibly small that if you scaled a single hydrogen atom to the size of a blueberry, your hand would be the size of the entire planet Earth. You are not solid. You are a ghost that has convinced itself it has a body. And today, you are going to find out what lies beneath the illusion. The Aegis Mark III exosuit has been reconfigured for this mission. The engineers at the program removed the thermal shielding, the radiation plating, and the vacuum seals. Instead, they installed something that has never been tested on a living human being: a quantum compression field. It works by manipulating the electromagnetic bonds between your atoms, not removing them, but folding the space between them, shrinking the void that makes up most of what you are. The device is the size of a wristwatch. It feels weightless. The mission briefing is simple. You will shrink, continuously, through every known scale of the physical world. From the human scale, down through the biological, the molecular, the atomic, and finally, if your mind can hold itself together, into the quantum realm itself. No human being has ever gone this deep. There is a reason for that. You press the activation button. The world begins to grow. Could you survive shrinking to the size of an atom? The first thing you notice is the floor. What was, a moment ago, a flat, gray, unremarkable concrete surface is no longer flat. It is no longer gray, and it is absolutely not unremarkable. You are now approximately 1 millimeter tall, the height of a grain of sand. The concrete beneath your boots has transformed into a mountainous, cratered landscape. Each grain of sand is a boulder the size of a house. The cracks between them are deep canyons stretching dozens of meters into darkness below. And you are not alone. The air around you, the air that, at full size, looked perfectly clean and empty, is a dense, swirling ecosystem of invisible life made suddenly, horrifyingly visible. A cloud of skin cells, each one the size of a dinner plate, drifts past you like dead leaves in an autumn wind. You are surrounded by a permanent blizzard of shed human biology. But the skin cells are not what concerns you. Something is moving between the boulders. It walks on 8 legs. Its body is translucent. You can see its internal organs pulsing with each slow, mechanical step. It has no eyes, because it does not need them. It navigates entirely by chemical signals and vibration. It is a Demodex follicle mite, a creature that lives, feeds, and breeds inside the hair follicles of virtually every adult human being on Earth. At full size, it is invisible. At your current size, it is the length of a city bus, and there are thousands of them. They are not interested in you. You are too large, too foreign, too chemically wrong for their programming. But their sheer presence, the knowledge that these creatures share your body as their entire world, that you have carried an entire civilization of them on your face since childhood, is a psychological rupture that no amount of scientific preparation can prevent. You keep shrinking. You are now the size of a human cell, 10 micrometers across. The world has lost all resemblance to anything you have ever seen. You are no longer standing on a surface. You are suspended in a warm, viscous fluid, the interstitial liquid that fills the space between your cells. It is the color of pale amber, thick and slow-moving, carrying with it the chemical signals of a body constantly talking to itself. Around you, the cells of the human body loom like vast alien planets. They are not the clean, diagrammatic circles you memorized in a biology textbook. They are dynamic, breathing, pulsing structures, constantly changing shape, extending and retracting protrusions, communicating with their neighbors through a language of protein and chemistry that predates human civilization by 4 billion years. This is the interior of a living human body, and it is nothing like peace. Something hits you. A white blood cell, a neutrophil, brushes past your suit like a slow freight train. At this scale, it is roughly the size of a moving truck. It is searching. It is always searching. Its entire existence is defined by one singular purpose: find the foreign, destroy it. You are foreign. The neutrophil pauses. Its membrane ripples. Chemical sensors on its surface are registering your presence. You are not a known protein. You are not a recognized cell. You are something that does not belong. It turns toward you. Your suit's electromagnetic barrier flares, broadcasting a scrambled chemical signal, a white noise designed to confuse biological detection systems. The neutrophil hesitates. Its internal machinery cannot categorize you. It drifts past, resuming its patrol. You exhale. But the battlefield around you is already in chaos. Deeper in the fluid, a full immunological war is raging. A virus, a rhinovirus, the common cold, has breached the epithelial barrier and is attempting to hijack the cellular machinery of your host body. At your current scale, a single virus particle is the size of a basketball. A cluster of them moves with terrifying efficiency, attaching to receptor sites on cell surfaces, injecting their genetic payload, and reprogramming the cell's entire operation to produce more copies of themselves. The body's response is overwhelming. Antibodies, shaped like microscopic Y structures, flood the fluid around you, binding to the viral particles, flagging them for destruction. Macrophages, the heavy infantry of the immune system, engulf entire infected cells, destroying them completely. The violence is absolute. It is impersonal. It is relentlessly, beautifully efficient. You are watching the most ancient war in the history of life on Earth. And it is happening inside every human body, every second, without rest, without mercy, and without end. You keep shrinking. You are now inside a cell nucleus, 2 nanometers across, the size of a strand of DNA. The compression field whines with effort. At this scale, maintaining the structural integrity of your suit requires processing power equivalent to a small nuclear reactor. But you forget about the suit the moment you see what surrounds you. You are inside the library of life. The DNA double helix, something you have seen rendered in 1,000 textbooks and documentary graphics, is in reality nothing like the clean, elegant model. It is a dense, tangled, extraordinarily dynamic structure. It writhes, it spins, it is never still. Stretched out fully, The DNA in a single human cell would measure nearly 2 meters long. Yet it is compressed into a nucleus just 6 micrometers across, wound tightly around protein spools called histones, folded and refolded into an architecture of almost incomprehensible efficiency. Every 3 billion base pairs, every instruction needed to build a human heart, a human brain, a human eye, all of it, stored in a space smaller than a dust particle. And it is being read right now. Enormous molecular machines, RNA polymerases, move along the strands like locomotives on a track, reading the genetic code and transcribing it into messenger RNA. The messengers are then exported through nuclear pores, vast cathedral-like gateways in the nuclear membrane, and carried out into the cytoplasm to be translated into protein. The machinery of life operates without a central command. There is no brain directing this process. There is no intelligence overseeing the construction. It simply works. It has worked for 4 billion years. It works in every living cell of every living organism on this planet, simultaneously. You are watching the engine of all life running at full speed from the inside. But there is something wrong with the physics. The electromagnetic forces at this scale are no longer background noise. They are environmental conditions. The charged particles of atoms, the electrons orbiting their nuclei, are generating fields that your suit was never designed to navigate. Every few seconds, a wave of electromagnetic force passes through you, rattling the atomic bonds of your suit material, distorting your sensors. The atoms themselves are becoming visible. Individual carbon atoms, oxygen atoms, hydrogen atoms, the fundamental building blocks of biological reality, are now the size of small buildings around you. They are not the solid spheres of a chemistry model. They are almost entirely empty space. A tiny, dense nucleus surrounded by a vast, probabilistic cloud of electron energy. You are no longer in biology. You are at the threshold of physics, and the threshold is about to give way. You are now the size of an atomic nucleus, 1 femtometer across. Let me give you a reference point for what that means. If a single atom were the size of a football stadium, you would be a grain of sand sitting on the 50-yard line. The electrons are gone, or rather, you have passed through them. Their probability clouds, those ghostly shells of quantum energy, surround you at an incomprehensible distance. You exist in the vast, near-empty interior of the atom. This is where classical physics ends its shift and hands the controls to something stranger. The electromagnetic storm is now constant. Waves of force crash through your suit every millisecond. Your sensors are reading data that your instruments were never designed to process. The concept of a defined position, of being somewhere specific, is beginning to dissolve. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which at human scale is an abstract mathematical curiosity, is now a brutal physical reality. The more precisely your suit's sensors attempt to determine your location, the more violently your momentum fluctuates. The more precisely they track your speed, the more your position smears across space like a brushstroke on wet paint. You are beginning to lose the ability to have a single, defined existence. And then you see the nucleus, It is, in defiance of everything you expect from something that contains almost all of the mass of the atom, extraordinarily small. And yet the energy radiating from it is unlike anything you have encountered in any environment, from the surface of the sun to the edge of a black hole. Inside that nucleus, protons and neutrons are bound together by the strong nuclear force, the most powerful fundamental force in the universe. Approximately 100 times stronger than electromagnetism. It operates only at distances this small, and it operates with an intensity that makes the nuclear cores of stars feel comparatively gentle. You are hovering next to a force that, if you could concentrate enough of it, could end a city. Your compression field gives a single, catastrophic warning pulse. You have reached the boundary. Below this scale, the laws of physics that have governed every environment you have ever survived, every pressure, every temperature, every gravitational field, are no longer valid. What lies beneath is the quantum foam, and it is waiting. You cross the threshold, and the universe breaks. There is no other way to describe it. One moment, there is space, the defined three-dimensional arena in which all physical events occur. The next moment, there is no space. There is no time. There is only probability. At the Planck scale, 10 to the power of minus 35 meters, the absolute floor of physical reality, the smooth fabric of space-time that Einstein described does not exist. What exists instead is something that physicists call quantum foam. Space-time at this scale is not a fabric. It is a violently churning, seething storm of geometry. Tiny wormholes and curvature fluctuations forming and evaporating faster than any timescale that has physical meaning. The ground beneath your feet does not exist. The air around your suit does not exist. Distance itself, the concept of here and there, is flickering in and out of existence at a rate that cannot be measured. And you, the continuous, unified, single-location entity that has navigated every previous environment, are beginning to come apart. Not physically, the suit is holding, but your existence, your singular, coherent presence in one place at one time, is being challenged by the fundamental architecture of reality itself. Quantum superposition is not a theory here. It is the ambient condition. You are detecting yourself in multiple locations simultaneously. Your suit's sensors are registering your position as a probability distribution rather than a coordinate. You are here. You are also 3 Planck lengths to the left. You are also, in some meaningful physical sense, not anywhere at all. The human brain evolved to process a world of cause and effect, of before and after, of here and there. None of those concepts are stable at this scale. You are experiencing what physicists theorize but cannot directly observe, the raw, pre-geometric substrate of the universe. The level of reality that exists before space and time themselves emerge as organized structures. It is not dark here. Darkness requires space to exist in. It is not silent here. Silence requires time to measure. It simply is, an endless, dimensionless probability storm. The foam from which the entire physical universe, every galaxy, every star, every ocean, every thought you have ever had, is continuously being generated and regenerated. This is the bottom. This is the foundation of everything, and it is the most alien, terrifying, and incomprehensibly beautiful thing you have ever not quite seen. The compression field reverses. Scale rushes back in the opposite direction. The quantum foam gives way to the atomic nucleus. The nucleus retreats to a distant point of light as the electron cloud rushes back to surround you. The cell nucleus reforms its cathedral architecture of DNA. The cellular battlefield reconnects. The dust mite jungle returns for a single, surreal moment. And then you are back, full size, standing on the gray concrete floor. Your hand is in front of you, the same skin, the same veins, the same fingerprint ridges. But you cannot look at it the same way. You now know what it is. Not a solid surface, not a reliable boundary. A temporary agreement between an uncountable number of quantum events, each one operating at the edge of physical law, each one contributing one infinitesimal piece to the grand illusion of a solid, continuous, real human hand. You are not matter. You are a pattern, an arrangement of probabilities that has, against extraordinary odds, persisted long enough to look at itself in a mirror and ask questions. The universe did not create you from solid stuff. It wrote you in the language of chance, on a substrate of quantum foam, and let the mathematics run forward until something complex enough to wonder appeared. Every atom in your body was forged in the nuclear furnace of a dying star. Every molecule was assembled by the blind, patient machinery of chemistry and time. Every cell has fought and continues to fight, right now, an endless war to preserve the pattern that makes you, you. You survived the surface of a rogue planet. You endured the crushing dark of the Mariana Trench. But this journey through the architecture of your own existence is the most profound thing the Aegis program has ever attempted. Because this time, you weren't exploring the universe. You were exploring what the universe is made of. And what you found, at the very bottom, was this. Reality is not a place. It is a process. And you are part of it. Could you survive shrinking to the size of an atom? Your suit could hold. Your biology could endure. But your understanding of what you are and what anything is will never recover. The universe is not made of things. It is made of events, of relationships, of probability and pattern. And somewhere in the quantum foam at the bottom of everything, the boundary between you and the rest of reality is not as clear as you once believed. What impossible scale should we explore next? Should we leave the quantum and dive to the absolute center of the Earth, falling through 6,000 kilometers of molten rock and iron crystal, becoming a human yo-yo trapped in the planet's core forever? Or should we travel to the Boötes void, a region of space 330 million light-years wide, containing almost nothing? No stars, no galaxies, just an endless, perfect darkness that will shatter every concept of reality you have left. Vote in the comments below and subscribe to Could You before the probability collapses.